My name is Vivian Wood, and I'm going to be talking about horses' health, so you guys can check to make sure your horse is healthy or if there's something abnormal for your horse. I will be using Jane, and first thing to notice is your horse appearance. So Jane is a very laid-back mare. She is an older mare also, but I'm going to explain. First, when you look at is her eyes. Her eyes are bright, they're alert, looking around. Her ears, they're kind of flopping back at the moment because she's walking away from me. But that is also normal. She may not have them forward towards you or having an ear towards you from listening. That is normal, always having her ears just relax and cock to the back or cock to the side. Also, you could check if there's any discharge from her nose. There's none. Sometimes discharge could indicate she might be sick or something might be going wrong. Also, I want to point out is her skin coat. Her skin coat is very nice, clean, shine to it. There's no flakes, there's no skin or anything. If there was flakes or something, her skin could be itchy or anything that could possibly mean something's wrong. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is the mucous membrane. I'm going to be looking at her conjunctiva, that's going to be in her eye, and I'm going to look at her gums. First, I'm going to look at the conjunctiva, and what I'm going to do is pull down the eyelid on the bottom eyelid, and I'm going to see if there's pink color. So she's kind of blinking, so I'm going to up, and I see pink. Now, if it was a fiery red, like an irritation, that could indicate she might got dust or bedding or something in there, or it could indicate there's a problem with the eye. Next, I'm going to look at the mucus. The front of the mucous membranes is the gums. I'm going to see if there is moisture or sheen to it. So I'm going to rub her nose, make sure it's okay. Look at her gums. I see some nice moisture, sheen to it, and that means she's hydrated. Next, for also the mucous membrane, I'm going to again check it again and look at the colors of her gums. What I'm looking for are nice, healthy, pink gums. Now, if I see a fiery red, that could indicate infection or fever. A brickish red, purple color could indicate lack of oxygen. Yellow could indicate she has a liver problem. Pale could mean shock or anemia. So I just want to make sure her gums are not any of those colors and they're normal pink color for her. Also, again, if the lighting's not that well, it could change the color of her gums. So always make sure you have good lighting to check, make sure the gums are good. So again, we'll lift up her gums. And she has nice, healthy pink gums. Alright, next I'm going to be talking about capillary refill. What I'm going to be doing is going to lift up her gums again. I'm going to press. I'm not going to stab her with my thumb. Press with my thumb, and then I'm going to relieve it. Take my thumb off of her gums, and I'm going to wait to see if where my thumbprint left, it's going to be white, fills back in pink. And I'm going to see if it takes 1 to 2 seconds. If it takes longer, that could indicate she is dehydrated. Alright, again, lift up her gums. Press my thumb, not stabbing her, let go, and it's about 1 to 2 seconds. So that indicates she is hydrated, she is drinking plenty of water. Okay. Next, I'm going to be talking about how to take a pulse. We are going to look for a pulse either underneath maxillary artery or on the radial that is right on the back side, back of her knee, inside of her leg. Some people, if they can't find the maxillary artery, they'll do the radial. Another pulse is a digital, but I'm going to talk about that one later. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the maxillary artery, find the maxillary artery, and usually it's just right underneath the jaw, and you're going to find like a little squiggly, wormy kind of feeling to it. So I'm going to find it, and the person who is holding the camera, I'm going to have her time me for 10 seconds. And I'm going to count the pulse. beats per pulse. So, right? Found it? Alright, so I counted 5 pulses. To get an actual rating for a pulse, I'm going to times that by 6. So 6 times 5 equals 30. So pulse rate is between 32 and 44. She's under by just a little bit, so I'm not going to be very alarming on that. And also, she's an older horse. She does get exercise. And 30 beats for her, 30 beats per pulse is actually very normal for her, so I'm not very alarmed. If it was very high or lower, I would be alarmed and contact emergency number, a vet, somebody, because it could indicate a problem for her. Alright, so I mentioned about the digital pulse also. So the digital pulse is right underneath, below the fetlock, right around here. For a digital pulse, you would take it for mostly if there's something off about your horse. Mostly like if your horse is stepping funny, so that could indicate laminitis, boundering, maybe a hot nail, or an abscess in the foot. So I'm going to check it just to make sure. I don't feel a pulse. If I don't feel a digital pulse, that indicates there's nothing wrong with the hoof. But I'm going to agitate a little bit just to get that feeling of the digital pulse. And I can feel it throbbing just because I did roll it around and just to agitate it just to get the feeling for it. Now, again, if you feel it, means there's something wrong with the hoof itself. I would not advise taking the pulse for a normal horse pulse. If you just, again, for a digital pulse, I would just take it if you know there's something off on your horse when she's taking or he's taking a step. Alright. Okay. So next, I am going to be doing a skin pinch. And for a skin pinch, I am going to look right on her neck, right above the scapula. So I'm just going to pinch, not very hard, and just lightly pull out towards me. Let go real quick, and it should go down to 1-2 seconds, but she did move her neck, so I'm going to redo that again just to get accurate skin pinch for her. So I'm going to again pinch, pull, let go, and it went down in 1-2 seconds. If it stayed up at an intent, that could mean dehydration, or the elasticity in her neck could be that she's older. She is an older horse, but her elasticity hasn't gone away at all, so it went down. If you don't think this is an accurate reading from because she is older or anything, you can always, that I showed you, check her gums and do the capillary refill just to make sure and look at the gums to see if there's any shine to her gums, just to see if she is intaking water and not dehydrated. Okay. Next, I'm going to be doing the heart rate. I am going to use my stethoscope to hear her heart rate. And I'm going to have the person holding the camera time 10 seconds. So, put it, and I'm going to put the stethoscope right next to her elbow in her heart girth area. So I'm going to find her heartbeat, then I'm going to tell my helper to time me for 10 seconds. So I counted 5 heartbeats, so I'm going to times that again by 6. Now your heart rate should mirror off of your pulse. Now if it did not mirror off pulse, that could indicate having a problem with your horse, and again, should call a vet or emergency number. Alright. Also, the range for heartbeat is 32 to 44. Again, that's a little under that for her, a little under than the normal range. That is actually normal for her to have 30 heartbeat. Even though it is a little bit low, I'm not going to make it alarming. If it was lower, I would, or if it was extremely high, I would. But she's also an older mare. She does get exercise and she's fit. I'm not going to make it very alarming at all. Next, I'm going to be doing her respiratory. What I'm going to do is going to be counting how many breaths she takes. And I'm going to look for in her flank area. And I'm going to look actual breaths. Like, I'm going to see her stomach flank area to expand out completely, not very short breaths. Because short breaths are not really getting actual breaths. Like if she coughed or sneezed or she's sniffing really heavily. I'm not going to count those. I'm going to count the actual breaths that expands the flank and the stomach very well so I can tell that she's taking breaths. Again, I'm going to have my helper time me for 10 seconds and while I count her breaths. So I'm going to find a good breath and I'm going to let her know to go. Alright, so I got 2 good full breaths. So now I'm going to times that by 6, and I get 12 breaths. So, she is in the normal range. She's in the normal range. It's between 8 and 16 breaths. So she's right in the middle. If it was low or high, I would be more alarming, but she's in the middle. I'm not very worried at all. Alright.
Good.
Next, I'm going to be checking her gut sounds. I'm going to be checking all 4 quadrants on her left side and right side. I'm going to use my stethoscope. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you can just put your ear against. But sometimes stethoscope works a little bit better because you can hear a little bit better using it. So, and I don't need a timer for this one. I'm just going to listen to all 4 quadrants and hear healthy, consistent gut noises. So I'm going to check the first one, and it's going to be first quadrant on the upper flank. And I hear healthy gut noises. Next I'm going to the second one. Alright, again, healthy, consistent gut noises. Next, I'm going to go on the other side to check third and fourth quadrant. So, again, check 3, and that's in the upper half of the flank. And she also has healthy gut sounds in her third quadrant. Next, I'm going down to the fourth quadrant. And all 4 quadrants, she has healthy gut noises. Now, if you don't hear any noise, any consistent gut noises, that could indicate colic. But always check all 4, because 1 or 2 or all 4 or 3 of her quadrants may not have noise. So always double check to make sure all the all the quadrants are having healthy gut sounds. If you hear more of a rushing noise, that will indicate hypermotility, and that means your horse is having diarrhea. All right. Finally, I'm going to be checking the temperature. I'm going to be using 2 thermometers. I'm going to be using a mercury thermometer, and I'm going to be using a digital thermometer also. Now for the mercury, I'm going to first shake it down below 98 to make sure I get an accurate reading. So give it 2 shakes down, double check to make sure it's under 98. It's not, so go a little bit more. Okay, now it's under 98. So I'm going to take Vaseline. I'm just going to put it on the mercury thermometer. Got a little bit extra. Alright, when doing temperature, always approach calmly, nice, rub her side to say, hey, I'm coming, please don't kick me. You don't want to just go up, move the tail, stick the thermometer in. A lot of horses do not like that, so I'm petting her, talking to her, so she knows I'm back here. Next, I'm going to lift the tail and stick it in the rectum. And this has a little clip so I can clip it to her tail so I don't have to hang on to it. Since she's a little gassy, I am going to just hold it just for a little bit. And for the time consuming, because it does take 2 minutes to take an accurate reading for the mercury thermometer, I'm going to pause it and then come back to it. So now it's been 2 minutes. So I'm going to lift up her tail, again, tell her that I'm here, rub her on the side so she doesn't freak out, and pull it out, unclip, try to grab. I'm going to use my towel to wipe off. If you don't have a towel, you can just use her tail, roll it up, and use it that way. So I'm just going to take the towel, clean it off, so I can actually read it better. And I got 100 for her temperature. Normal range for her temperature is 99.5 to 101.5. So she's right in the middle, so it's not alarming or anything. She's at a good temperature for her. Next I'm going to do is a digital thermometer. Now, for a digital thermometer and a mercury, digital can be a little bit fewer degrees than a mercury, so sometimes the digital thermometer can be inaccurate for reading, just because it's not as long as the thermometer. I'm not going to stick it straight into the rectum to get a better reading. So what I would be doing is stick it in, and I'm going to tilt it towards her wall inside of her rectum to get a more accurate reading. So Vaseline, rub it on it. Just gonna wipe that off real quick. And a digital thermometer reads a little bit more faster. I'm just gonna hear the beat, and then it's gonna let me know it's ready to read the temperature. Again, rub her side so she knows I'm here. Lift her tail up, out of the way. I'm gonna push the button. I'm gonna wait for it to say L for low, and then again put in her rectum, and I'm going to tilt it a little bit to hit the wall of her rectum to get a better accurate reading. And also I'm going to hold onto the digital thermometer just because I don't want it to lose the digital thermometer, because it can actually suck into her. And I'm just going to use her tail this time just to clean it off. So digital thermometer, I got 99.4. That is a little bit low, between 99.5 and 101.5. But again, I also said digital thermometer tends to be a few degrees lower than actual mercury thermometer. Mercury thermometer is actually more accurate than a digital one for an accurate temperature reading.